Frooglesim videos are powered by Jetline Systems.
Hello YouTube, this is Frugal and this is the Frooglesim news for today, Sunday, January the 6th, 2019. First up, DCS New Year's news. Ego Dynamics hit 2019 with a very loud laser-guided bang, announcing a ton of stuff underway for DCS World in their first newsletter of the year. Now I'm going to skim the details here, but the full post is linked in the show notes below, so do please take the time to follow the link and read them in full. First up, Razbam's MiG-19P is coming later this month, adding to the MiG-15, 21 and 29 already available. Also, Heatblur's F14 is heading rapidly towards release, with Eagle claiming by the end of winter, which makes its release sometime in the next 3 months. From the same team as well that developed the Viggen, the F14 features both front and back seat multiplayer abilities, which is kind of cool. Now, just before Christmas, Ego Dynamics published a video showcasing what they had been up to in 2018. At the end of that video, there was an ominous silhouette that we now know is the F-16C Viper. It shares a lot of sim technology with the F-18 and is apparently quite far along in development. Now, while Eagle don't give a release date, I kind of expect to see this launched later this year. Next up, for the Hilo fans, the Mi-24P Hind is also covered as the next major helicopter to hit DCS World. This, of course, is an iconic Russian heavyweight that serves double duty as both a monstrous gunship and a troop carrier. The Hind also supports multiplayer multi-crew. Now, back in the World War II arena, Ego Dynamics mentioned that the P-47D Thunderbolt, the Mosquito FB Mark VI, and the Focke-Wulf 190AH Shrike are all well underway and on track to release in 2019, in addition to others. Next up, Hornet drivers will be pleased to know that the Hornet continues to be the major focus internally for Ego Dynamics, and Eagle are committed to getting the rest of the targeting and weapon systems online rapidly. And finally, in that DCS newsletter, see, there's quite a lot of stuff. As if that wasn't enough already, the A10C and the KA50 Black Shark are both being overhauled to take advantage of new technology in the current version of the platform. Truly exciting times for DCS World, so as I said at the start of this piece, do click on the link in the show notes below and read the full detail behind each of these items. Moving on, let's talk about VIRPIL controllers. Now, I don't know if this is news or not, but I'd never heard of these guys until a friend pointed them out to me today, so they're news to me. VIRPIL, I hope that's how it's pronounced, VIRPIL controllers, who are based in Belarus in Eastern Europe, have got a completely nuts and bonkers lineup of stuff for combat fans out there. Looking through the website, they have some really well-priced desk mounts for Thrustmaster controls, as well as a pretty incredible looking throttle quadrant and a new base unit that takes not only their own joystick grips, but also supports the Thrustmaster Warthog. Now, a friend of mine, Mac, picked up one of the throttle quadrants and a new joystick base for his Warthog over Christmas, and he has been raving about them to me, claiming that the joystick base in particular is much higher fidelity and much smoother than the standard Thrustmaster one. So, if you're in the market for combat stuff or even space controls, check them out at the link in the show notes below. Next up, FlightBeams KPDX HD. Now, Bill Womack and I Blue Yonder's latest magnum opus is Portland International Airport, or KPDX, which is the second busiest hub in the Pacific Northwest. This was developed for prepared version 4, as it takes advantage of many of the advanced features in version 4 to deliver the best experience possible. The features include 4K resolution textures, sewed animated jetways, photoreal scenery based on OSM data, seasonal vegetation, static aircraft around the airport, and of course dynamic lighting. Now, FlightBeams KPDX HD also ships with the FlightBeam Manager system, which is a new system which does away with the need for the add-on manager and Kutel, or however you pronounce that. FlightBeams KPDX HD from Bill Womack and I Blue Yonder is available right now for prepared version 4 for the paltry price of just $29.99. More information at the FlightBeam.net link in the show notes below. Next up, Carenado's FA50. Carenado's latest release is the FA50EX for FSX and Prepared. It features optional winglets, improved Proline systems on board, animated wing flex, realistic startup and flight dynamics, and also an accurate sound set covering the engine systems as well as system sounds on the flight deck. Now, as always from Carenado, it ships with the usual array of PDF pamphlets covering normals and non-normals, as well as a manual for working with the RTU. Carenado's FA50 is available right now for FSX and Prepared's 3 and 4, and will cost you $44.95. More information at the Carenado.com link in the show notes below. Next up, Air Hauler 2 has got a release date. Just Flight's Air Hauler 2 is due to leave early access next week on January the 11th. Now, this is a standalone package that integrates with FSX or Prepare to let you build and run your own freight or passenger airline. It tracks the company's finances, lets you hire and fire pilots, and of course you can fly too, undertake missions, boost your company's reputation, and expand further afield. Think of it as truck sim for flight sim. Now, I took a look at the early access a while ago, and while it did look promising, I actually put it down and didn't go back to it. But from what I've seen this time around, much has changed and improved. And Air Hauler has a very large and loyal fan base that have been clamoring for this release for some years. You can currently buy it and get the early access version ahead of next week's launch for $37.99. The normal price is going to be $44.99. More information at the justflight.com link in the show notes below. Next up, Orbx have previewed CityScene Orlando. Orbx have previewed CityScene Orlando, part of their new CityScene line of products. They claim that by using new technology, they're able to get greatly improved performance and optimization over default autogen techniques, and can replicate unusual shaped buildings, accurate building heights and types, as well as vegetation, terrain, and traffic. Orbx CityScene Orlando will cover the entirety of Orlando, Florida, my home, and features 200,000 custom buildings, 40 points of interest, including, of course, Disney. It also covers more than 1,115 square kilometers of scenery and includes both KORL Orlando Executive Airport and KMCO Orlando International Airport. It's worth noting, though, and Orbx point this out, that while these airports do provide significantly more detail than default, they are not as complex as standalone airport packages. Interestingly, given Orbx's disclaimer there and the fact that they love to build products on products, I wonder if this means we're about to see fully detailed KMCO and KORL from Orbx soon after release. Just speculation. Anyway, no idea of a release date or a price just yet. I wouldn't think it's too far out. More information at the orbxsystems.com link in the show notes below. Next up, Radar Contact 4. Some bittersweet news next. JTD LLC, the two guys behind Radar Contact, have decided after 21 years to close up shop and step away from their product. Radar Contact is, in my eyes, probably the most complex and taxing virtual ATC package out there, which is why I used it in so many of my fully loaded videos. It is terribly sad to see the guys go, but after 21 years, I do think they deserve a break. The sweet side of the pill is that they have decided to make Radar Contact 4 and the key generator tool necessary to activate it available completely for free. If you head on over to the announcement on Avcin, I'm sorry to send you guys to Avcin, you can get the download links, and a huge thanks to John and Doug for all their hard work and commitment over the years. Next up, X-Plane news, and I'm sorry, this is the only X-Plane news I've got, but it is a biggie. Active Sky for X-Plane released. Now, this actually released before Christmas, but it is a huge deal. Active Sky's weather engine is now available for X-Plane. There are some caveats. We're just talking about the weather engine. We're not talking about weather depiction stuff. So you're still seeing default clouds and so on within X-Plane. But from my time using the product, I have got it, I have used it, I am completely fine with that. What you get with Active Sky's weather engine is a long-established, best-of-breed product able to handle custom weather, real-time live weather with transitions, and of course, historical weather. Now that's the thing that actually has me most excited, as I use historical weather all the time when recording videos, as I can repeat the same flight over and over with exactly the same real-world conditions until I have it right. The weather engine replaces all of X-Plane's built-in turbulence and air effects with enhanced turbulence, drafts, thermals, terrain-based wind, surface friction, wind gust, weight turbulence, and much, much more. It also accurately simulates winds aloft, as well as air and atmospheric effects. Now, Hi-Fi have said that they are working on cloud rendering and weather depiction, and they hope for that to be available later in 2019. In the meantime, though, Active Sky for X-Plane is available right now. It is unfortunately for Windows only, and it will cost you €35.99. That is it for this first news show of 2019, the first news show of the third year of Frooglesim News. How crazy is that? As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really, truly do appreciate it. If I missed something, do leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'll take a look to see if I can include it in next week's show. Until then, though, my name is Frugal, and I will see you all very, very soon.